Roz never imagined that her entire life could change in the space of a single day. She used to be the woman who walked with confidence, the one whose steps echoed through the halls of success. A Princeton graduate, a dreamer, a fighter, she had it all figured out. Until the day everything fell apart. It started with a crash, metal, glass, silence, then pain. When Roz opened her eyes again, the world looked different. Her body didn't move the way it used to. The doctor's words rang in her ears, "You may never walk again." At first, she thought her life was over. But Roz was not the kind of woman who stayed down for long. She cried, yes. She screamed, yes. But somewhere deep inside, she made a promise to herself, if I can't walk, I'll still rise. The first few months were brutal. She hated the chair. She hated the looks people gave her, the pity, the whispers. She hated how the world treated her like she was broken. But then she met Quincy. Quincy wasn't like anyone else. He was calm, grounded, with a quiet strength in his voice that made the world seem less heavy. They met at a hospital rehab center. Roz was trying to navigate the elevator when her chair got stuck. Quincy was there, the man with the kind eyes who simply said, "You need a hand." It started with small conversations, about books, about music, about the meaning of strength. And slowly, those small conversations became something more. Roz started to look forward to seeing him. He never looked at her with pity. He looked at her like she was still the same fierce, beautiful woman she'd always been. One evening, as the rain tapped against the window, Roz said quietly, "You know, I used to run every morning. I miss that." Quincy smiled. "You'll run again. Maybe not on your feet, but with your spirit. You already are." That was the night Roz realized she wasn't alone anymore. They built a life together, not perfect, but powerful. Roz started an online platform for women with disabilities, sharing her story, her pain, her progress. Her message was simple: you are not less. You are more than enough. The platform exploded. Thousands of women from all over the world began to share their stories too. Roz became a voice, not just for herself, but for others who had forgotten their worth. Years passed. Roz and Quincy got married. Their love wasn't flashy, but it was real. They faced stares in public, a black man and a white woman, both breaking stereotypes just by being together, but they didn't care. They knew what they had was rare. Then came Zara, their little miracle. When Roz held her daughter for the first time, something inside her healed completely. Every scar, every tear, every lonely night suddenly made sense, because all of it had led to this moment. Zara grew fast, curious, bright, always full of questions. One night, after a long day, she crawled into Roz's lap and asked, "Mommy, why do you sit in the chair?" Roz smiled softly, "Because life gave me a different way to move, baby." Zara frowned. "But, doesn't it make you sad?" Roz brushed her daughter's curls back and whispered, "Sometimes. But then I remember, my chair doesn't hold me down. It lifts me up." Quincy came over, wrapping his arms around both of them. "You see, Princess," he said, "your mommy is a superhero. Her chair, that's her cape." Years later, at a charity event, Roz wheeled onto the stage under bright lights. The crowd went silent. Cameras flashed. She took a breath and began, her voice steady. "There was a time I thought my life was over. I lost everything I thought made me. Me. But then I realized something. You don't need legs to stand tall. You just need courage." The audience rose to their feet, tears glistening, clapping for the woman who refused to give up. After the speech, Roz found Quincy waiting backstage, pride in his eyes. "You did it again," he said. She smiled. "We did it." Later that night, they sat outside, watching fireflies dance over the garden. Zara was asleep inside. The world was quiet. Roz looked at Quincy and whispered, "Do you realize we turned pain into purpose?" He nodded. "You turned what could have broken you into something that built thousands of lives." "We did that," she corrected, smiling through tears. The night was warm, full of peace. The woman who once thought her life was over had built something unbreakable. She looked up at the stars and said softly, "Hope was the first step. Love was the rest." And in that moment, Surrounded by silence, love, and the soft hum of the night, Roz felt whole. Because sometimes, life doesn't give you back what you lost. It gives you something better. Fade out.